What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up, y'all? How are y'all feeling today? How are y'all feeling today? Man, today's live is going to be so special. Today is a very important day. Today is a very important day. Today is the eclipse. Today is the eclipse and a full moon. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? 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 Is the audio breaking up still? The audio breaking up still, or are we good? Alright, cool. So today is the eclipse, y'all. And listen, y'all, man. I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Listen. I'm gonna be so real with y'all, bro. Like, I gotta talk to y'all about today. Today's energy is so powerful. Today's energy is so powerful. We gotta talk about it today. Okay, YouTube not popping up on my chat over here. But I need to know that y'all actually ready to hear this. I need to know that y'all ready to hear this. Like, I can't start this live without knowing that you actually want to hear this. All right? How many of y'all have already started feeling the energy of the full moon in the eclipse? Y'all feel? I know I'm feeling that mother. Okay, I see. I knew it wasn't just me. I knew it wasn't just me. What's up, guys? I was like, if I'm feeling that's the reason why I came on here, truthfully. Because I was like, if I'm feeling something, I know my people feeling something. I know my family feeling something. Listen, the first thing that I want to tell y'all for tonight, try to stay inside. If you can, try to stay inside tonight. Try to cover your feet tonight. Wear some socks. Don't be bare feet, because the full moon is in Pisces, okay? And Pisces rule the feet. So your feet is going to be taking in so much energy. Also, happy birthday to Brazil. Happy birthday to Brazil. Today is the founding date of Brazil, and I just I've had a love for Brazil, and I started learning a lot about Brazil. And when I saw that it fell on the day of the moon, I was like, this is even more confirmation. You feel me? So what I want you to do right now, I want you to start paying attention. I want you to start listening. And I'm telling you this because even I have betrayed myself and I wasn't listening. See, a lot of y'all dark sides, y'all shadow sides get out of hand because you've done too much suppressing of it. You've done too much of not listening to it. You have to realize that anything that is suppressed over time will eventually try to rebel to get. Somebody says, sorry, I need to see your eyes hiding something. Well, first of all, and second of all, it's a lot of energy out there right now, and I'm a Scorpio, right? So it's a lot of energy out there right now, and I got to protect myself in ways that, just listen to the message and just relax. I understand you paranoid too. Shit, I get it. But I'm just protecting myself. So just listen, all right? So what I want you to understand is that right now, this is the time where you want to learn how to listen to yourself. The mic cutting out. They saying the mic cutting out. Hold on. They saying the mic cutting out. This mic always doing some shit. The mic sound better? It sound good? It sound cool? It sound cool? It sound good? Let me know. Thank Thank you, BCN. Y'all let me know. Did the mic sound better? Oh. Y'all said it wasn't cutting out. All right, anyways. All right, let me get started now because I didn't even start recording, okay? So it's okay. I didn't really get started yet. Now we're about to get started. Hey, let me ask y'all. Y'all ready for the live today? I need to get the energy up. Like, if we really want this to be a good live, like, we really want to get this to be a good live, like, I really need the energy up. You get what I'm saying? I really need the energy up. I need to see y'all dropping some emojis. Drop the number 11. Drop the number 11. I need to see some fire. Because, listen, y'all. I'm going through it, too. I'm going through it, too. Like, nobody gets unscathed in this, okay? So, I'm going through it, too. I need y'all as much as y'all need me. I'm leaning on y'all. Y'all leaning on me. At the end of the day, let me tell y'all something. No matter what, the one place that I know y'all got me is here. You feel me? So I always appreciate y'all. I'm always thankful for y'all. And one thing I know is I always got y'all. Period. All right? So let's get into it. Let me go ahead and record. Here we go. Welcome to the live. Welcome to this video. Welcome to wherever you are watching this at. Make sure you guys go ahead and get a follow, a like, a comment, subscribe, whatever it is you got to do to go ahead and support this channel. Now, today's live is going to be very special because tonight, September 7th, this is a Pisces eclipse, blood moon, and it's also the founding day of Brazil. So happy birthday, Brazil. Now, today's live, I don't have no report. I don't have no notes. Today is really like I tried to write some notes, but something was just like, nah, just go ahead and just free ball it because you're going to get more out of it than if you kind of try to guide yourself somewhere. And I think the word of the day is intuition. Like, for at least for right now, the word of the day is intuition. And the reason why the word of the day is intuition, I want all y'all to go ahead and comment that. Comment the word intuition. Go ahead. Show me that y'all listening. Comment the word intuition. The reason why I'm saying the word of the day is intuition is because some of you guys have gone against it. And a lot of what we are facing right now is what we have gone against when it came to our intuition. People, places, jobs, things that you knew were not right for you, that you knew wasn't in alignment, are now starting to expose itself, you know. And sometimes we see what we want to see. Sometimes we hear what we want to hear, and we try to remove all evidence of what we know to be true. But I want you to know that every time that you go against your true self, you create disharmony between you and you. And that's the worst kind of, I don't know if that's the word, but that's the worst kind of way to be, out of harmony with yourself. Because now being out of harmony with yourself creates sickness. Being out of harmony with yourself creates living in dis-ease. Dis-ease. You feel me? And it's not easy to let go of things that you really wanted to work. It's not easy to let go of things that you wanted to see through, letting go of people that you wanted to it's not easy. But one thing that helps me is realizing that it's either me or you, bitch. And if I stay with you, my destiny is fucked. So fuck all that sad shit. Fuck all that sad shit, because the truth be told is what really matters. And quite frankly, once I realized that by choosing you, I was choosing to not follow through with my destiny, I no longer was sad. You feel me? Like, it's you feel what you feel, but understand that it is completely determined by you on how long you feel it, truthfully. And when I started to take that mentality, I was like, you know what? That really stops me from being a victim in any situation. If you don't like what you're feeling, change it. Walk away. You can move. You you can literally prescribe yourself an activity that will get rid of that feeling. Come on now, tell me it's not true. Tell me it's not. When you go run, it temporarily goes away. Think about it. When you go run, when you go work out, when you go make some money, all that shit go out the window for a little bit, right? Just keep doing that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that is the skill of transmutation. That is the skill. But some of y'all are choosing to sit in some shit that you knew was going to die regardless. This is a snake year. This is a 9 year. It had to end. And I think it's easier for you to understand. It's either you or me. It's either that timeline or the timeline you want. You know what created the most change for me? When I started reciting an affirmation of how I wanted my life to be, and then I started seeing things get ripped away. And I was like, oh. You start saying, I want to be abundant, and then certain people start getting ripped out your life. You lose this job, you thinking in that moment, what? I'm confused. I thought everything's supposed to be going good. It is. You've just tricked yourself into thinking you like this life when you don't. You don't like this life. You don't like that life. You don't like it. You could be addicted to it. Some of y'all want to feel sober, but you don't want to go through the process of cutting it out. You don't want to go through withdrawal. That's what it is. That's what it is. You want to feel the release. You don't want to go through withdrawal, though. Your biggest fear is the process of what you want. You don't want to go through withdrawal when withdrawal is what's needed. Because all that withdrawal is all where they had their teeth synced in you, controlling you, making you feel a type of way, pressing your buttons. Is this resonating? Today, I won't. Today I felt alone and I didn't feel alone at the same time. Okay? And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, you got to process it alone. You can have support, you can have an ear, but at the end of the day, it is ultimately you that make the decisions. And I realize that the world is made to where nobody is going to really tell you when you fucking up and you falling off, and nobody's really going to tell you because you have free will. You can't get mad at them for not telling you, oh, you can't get mad because you have free will. So it is really up to you to choose. Okay, boom. I was questioning myself. I was like, why are certain things looking like this? And then I got super focused on what it is that I want. All we have to do is really ask ourselves what we want. And once we ask ourselves what we want, we can start to now entertain what needs to be done to get it. A lot of times, entertaining it is painful. Because now you have to come into the realization that the shit you was doing over here can't take you over here. Your habits, your addictions over here can't take you to your success over here. And that's painful because that means that you technically have to shed a part of you. You have to shed a part of you. Some people can't go with you. Some friends can't be your friend because they don't really water. Like, you ask yourself, the people that you're around, who are you giving more than you're receiving? How can you grow if every little resource you get, you give it away? How can you grow? How can you be happy if all of your energy is going somewhere else? I was told today that there were certain energies that were siphoning me. And I was like, wow. And I said, well, can that stop me from reaching my destiny? Yes. Because if something is siphoning you, that means that you don't have access to all of your energy. That means that your energy is going somewhere else. Thank you for the gift. Yes, Mama and Kai, thank you for the gift. You need all of your energy to really make this shit happen. Some of y'all going through heartbreak. Some of y'all going through betrayal. You gotta let that emotion go. How do you let it go? By transmuting it, turning it, learning from it. Remember, adversity is opportunity. Remember that. How many times have we talked about this? When adversity pops up, this is the chance for you to take it by the horns and grow from it. Use it as a boost. Use it as a stepping stool. Nothing you going through right now is to hurt you or to harm you. And sometimes Spirit, God, Most High, has to break your heart to save your soul. Sometimes God has to break your heart to save your soul. Sometimes life have to break your heart to save your soul. Some of y'all was just going the wrong way, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to go the wrong way so you know what the wrong way looks like. I get into the habit of beating myself up when I make mistakes. I really hate making mistakes. I really hate wasting my time. But it's not really a waste of time if it became a lesson. It wasn't really a waste of time if you used it to amplify something. It wasn't a waste of time only if you let it be a waste of time. And some of y'all are still beating yourself up about something that happened last week. Give yourself grace. Give yourself, if it's not grace, then forgive yourself. Because holding on to it makes you small. There was a card that was, somebody gave me a reading today. And sometimes I get readings, depending on who her name is Guyana Carib Woman on YouTube 28. Guyana Carib Woman. And this was one of the cards. Let me show y'all. I'm going to read it to y'all. This was one of the cards. I'm going to read it to y'all, okay? So the card is the Temple of Me. Look in the mirror. Remind yourself how beautiful you are. That person that made you feel small can't affect you anymore. Guys, now I want to know what you guys think. Why is it that when you are actively expanding yourself and trying to be the best, biggest version of yourself, everybody is offended? Why are they offended by you wanting to be better, by you having higher standards? Why are they offended? Imagine somebody gets offended because they're like, I want you to cook. I want you to cook, but you like, nah, I got money to get a chef so I can focus on other stuff. Nah, but why you don't cook? Why you don't cook? What do you think that is? That's how some people are. Some people don't like that you want to elevate because your elevation makes them feel like a brokey. No, I'm just playing. I'm just trolling. But your actions is making them really feel triggered, feeling a type of way that you want better for yourself. You get what I'm saying? Y'all have to be careful because some people don't even know what they doing. They don't even understand that they moving from insecurity. That's why self-awareness is so powerful. If you can be self-aware, you can really create genuine connections. And the reason why you can create genuine connections is because you're constantly growing and evolving, and you're able to attract other self-conscious people. You know what I mean? If you are self-conscious, or not even self-conscious, but self-aware, that's the better word. I don't want to say self-conscious, but if you are a self-aware person, congratulations, you right now have an educational and intelligence level that most of humanity does not have. You gotta already be the top 30%. You gotta be, if you're self-aware. Because that means you're willing to face yourself even if it's painful. And when you can do that, that means you're able to take accountability. Bro, I realized in 2025, at the big age of 25, I realized that a lot of people struggle with taking accountability. You get what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't have boundaries, if you don't have a line in the sand, if you don't have a strikeout, like, oh, if they do this and that, like, do you actually have a life plan, a social plan? Meaning that if these people cross this line, I know when I need to, like, let it go. I realize that I need to have that. I need to have that. Certain type of criteria. There needs to be a certain type of criteria to who can come into your life. What's up, Aloe? Not everybody can come into your life. Are you a everybody kind of bitch? No, right? No, right? Are you the dollar store where everybody can walk in and afford you? So then there needs to be a criteria of who can access you. Because if you don't have a criteria and you just start you're going to always move the goalpost for what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And some of us, we go through unnecessary pain all because we fail to listen to ourselves. No, but it's just because he was this. She just was this. It's just because she was mad. It's just because it's just giving excuses. Do people give you excuses when you fuck up? No, they don't say, oh, I understand. It's because, you and your dad or you and your mom. They don't say that shit. They don't give a fuck. So why are you giving all of these excuses and reasons why these people can hurt you and you're being understanding? No, if they can't even understand about themselves. You trying to be understanding about something that someone hasn't even had understanding with themselves. Why do you have to be the first to do that and accept that shit? You don't have to accept that shit. It's not worth you. That's not your blood. That's not your daughter. That's not your... Why are y'all allowing people in your life who are only sucking and taking? Some of y'all are moving with half your energy because you giving it away. And this is why boundaries are important. This is why boundaries are important. And this is exactly why I wrote my new book called The Crown. And I actually want to talk about that a little bit because I feel like, I know I'm teaching it to y'all, but honestly, I think it's more so about, me studying it. And I feel like when I study it and I read it out loud, y'all are able to learn from it. But it's not letting me pull it up. Oh, okay. So honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I wrote this book from a place of pain. And I'm a Scorpio, so the best things sometimes come in pain. And I don't know who needed to hear this. I feel like now I could take off my, And truth be told, y'all, these glasses was worn because I was crying. I was crying. I just wasn't ready to tell y'all yet because I didn't want to cry again. But these glasses was on because I was crying and I was protecting my eyes. Because right now is very real. And I don't want you to think that, like, I'm not here with you. Like, I'm in it with you. I'm in the field with you. I am. And that's why I felt like it was important for me to come on here and talk to you, because my thing is, I just know that if I'm going through it, I know you going through it, because we have some type of, like, I don't know, type of connection, synchronicity, that somehow, some way, it's like we going through the same thing in a way, And growing up, I've always wanted someone who could just sit down and be real with me, because I'm learning that the people around you are not really gonna tell you. They may be like, damn, but they're never gonna tell you, let go of that person, cut that person off, let them go. This is your sign. If you've been asking, yes, this is your sign to let them go. And if it's about you, maybe something about this shirt, Brazil, maybe because something told me to wear this shirt. So if this shirt even alone is a synchronicity for you, because that's how this realm works. And I've learned that I'm being used as a symbol of synchronicity also. So this book that I wrote it in pain, because it got to the point where I realized the pain tolerance to really be successful, or the stress tolerance. That doesn't mean that your life has to be a suffer. Because I don't really think it's that your life is a suffer. I just think that you get dealt with more energy. And that can be a blessing, a blissful thing, or a curse, all depending on how you manage it. Money could make or break you depending on how you manage it. Adversity make or break depending on how you manage it. Right? And on my mystery school recently, I talked about how opportunity has a funny way of coming through the door. And it comes disguised as misfortune. Spirit and your ancestors too have a funny way of stopping you from achieving certain things if you are around the wrong people. Now, this book that I wrote was specifically about the truthful, hard path that it takes to be the one with the crown. And the crown could be responsibility. The crown could be you being the breadwinner. The crown could be the only one in the family that really have the destiny. Comment down below if this is resonating with y'all. Comment down below if this is resonating with y'all. Let me know. Go ahead, run up the likes. Run up the likes on this live. We have 15K likes on TikTok. We can get to 20. You get me? So sometimes we don't realize that, like, the reason why we felt that pain was so we can become better. But we can get so blinded by the pain and what it feels like that we don't take the opportunity. You feel me? So the crown is for you. It's for you. And you wouldn't want it. In all reality, you wouldn't want it in any other way. Sometimes you trick yourself and say, man, this is too much. But you really wouldn't want it any other way. It's supposed to be you, because if not you, then who? And I keep saying that. Okay? So, okay. I'm about to find it for you. Ready? So, all right. So I'm just going to start. I have a whole bunch of fucking reports on this shit. And quite frankly, I don't have no responsibilities. I don't have nobody to tend to. I could literally stay on this bitch all day. So, let me go ahead and talk to y'all about this, and hopefully this is able to bring you some type of understanding and clarity. All right. So, number one, this responsibility that you have right now, I wouldn't say that you picked it. I wouldn't say that you chose it. I wouldn't say that you asked for it. It probably asked for you. It probably chose you, because again, if not you, then who? You are the one that's meant to be the successful one in your family. You're the one that's breaking all the generational curses. That's why it seems like nobody understands you. Dirt. Nobody understands the 1%. Nobody understands the king but the king or other kings. So I think it's also a way of freeing yourself from them by not expecting to be understood. I think some of y'all, you want to be understood because it may be a form of intimacy, which is beautiful. But sometimes that intimacy is just for yourself. Do you understand me? Sometimes the intimacy is just for you. Maybe it's not meant. That's why only you see your dreams. Because you're not the only one trying to connect with you. You also have spirit. You also have your ancestors. You have things that are not seen that is also looking to connect with you also. So don't forget about that type of intimacy also. Okay? So the crown finds the reluctant, not the eager. What that means is that the people who are on the search for power, the people who are on the search to be this person usually don't find it. Because the people who are actually powerful, sometimes they don't even care for it. The most influential people aren't really on Instagram. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't care for it, you know? So some of y'all, that's probably the case with y'all. Like, you probably don't care for it, but at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility because you're the only one that can do it, right? So it chooses those who understand the weight before they feel it. You've been prepared your entire life for a throne you never wanted to sit on. It's almost like You know when you the best player on the team, but you're not really trying to be bossing people around and being like da 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 da. But you the only one on the team that could really do it and really respect. That's kind of like what this is. Okay. Also, another thing I would say too is that, some people don't really understand the responsibility and how much morale it really takes to be a leader. Some people want power, but they can't even control themselves or have power or dominion over themselves, and they trying to rule somebody else. Do you understand me? There are people trying to rule other people, and they can't even be disciplined enough to put a cigarette down. And that's why it's you. Again, that's why it's you. Because you're not hungry for that shit. And when I say you're not hungry, meaning not like, you're not beasting. You're not like, oh my God. You're not, because guess what? The ancestors say never be in a rush for success. Never be in a hurry. Because you're prone to make mistakes. If you're in a hurry to be successful, that means that you're willing to do something that you know you shouldn't do. Get rich quick. That don't sound right. Shit sound like a scam, right? Exactly. So, every betrayal that cut deeper than it should was teaching you discernment. I needed that. I gotta highlight that motherfucker. Every betrayal that cut deeper than it should have was teaching you discernment. Every loss that brought you to your knees was building the spine required to stand under pressure. Every moment when you stood alone while others ran was proving your qualification for the loneliness of command. Every moment that you stood alone while other people was running away from the problem showed again why you're the leader. Everybody want to be the boss, but they don't want to take the loss. That's it. And I love it when Rick Ross said, "Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym." I felt that. Because they really wasn't. They wasn't getting no rebounds. Motherfucker wasn't giving you no assist. Like, hello. Shara 7 got sprinkle. I need something. Bitch. Like, Shara got sprinkle. I need something. You hear me? So, motherfucker said dash. Who, Ernesto? Who the fuck is finna say dash? So, anyways, I'll figure it out. But are y'all feeling me? Like, they wasn't really shooting with you in the gym. So why the fuck should they be holding a championship ring with you? Why? Listen, and I will say, guys, if you want to purchase my ebook, just DM me. Because I can't tell y'all to go certain. Hey, y'all, I found out why TikTok was shadow banning me for a little bit. They finally told me. Real quick side. But I still got a lot of information. But quick side, real quick. I find out why y'all haven't been seeing my shit. Bitch. Tell me why the fuck they sent me some type of policy talking about some TikTok shop policy. I can't redirect people to like a third party or a website, or I can't do that. Like, literally, when I be like, oh, go to my... Bitch, why you gave me a fucking if I can't use it? Why the fuck would you... How you gonna give me a feature then tell me it's against policy to use the feature, bitch? Once I found that out, I was like, okay, so I gotta... Look, let me show y'all. Once I found that out, I was like, okay, I gotta do things differently. Y'all see? So that's why y'all wasn't seeing me. But what I'm gonna do is I have another account that y'all can follow for my backup. And I'm gonna comment right now. That's my backup account. So make sure y'all follow my backup account on TikTok right there. All right. But let's continue going because I still got a lot to say. We ain't even really like halfway through it. So let's continue. There you go, right there. It's Oriana Manhurst right there. All right. Okay, so cool. So every betrayal that cut deeper than it should have was teaching you discernment. Okay. Sometimes I beat myself up because I'm like, damn, I wasted my time. I should have never let this person in. I should have never been friends with them. I should have never been talking to them. Da, 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 da. And we could, shoulda, coulda, woulda ourselves to the grave. That shit don't do nothing. Like, because you have to understand this right here, like, this live, this my followers, my shit is for people who are bosses. Bosses. Like what's that lady, that Pakistani lady? She was like, I'm a boss. Like, I'm a boss. Like, that's who my live is for. So this is not gonna register to you if you don't have a kingdom. If you don't, or if you're not meant for a kingdom. If you just a regular person, then you're not gonna understand this. But if you know you have responsibility, and I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, I'm just being real. If you know you have responsibility, if you know you're that person in your family and your bloodline, because at the end of the day, I feel like what's the most important thing to me is making sure that with every choice I make, my bloodline gets better. That those who come after me are able to stand on the foundation that I build. Because to be real, y'all, some of us wouldn't even be able to do what we're doing right now if it wasn't for those who were brave enough to stand up for us and sacrifice for us. And I feel like that's one of the greatest acts you can do in this life is to use your life as some type of like step for humanity to get better. You know? But how do you do that? By being your best self and leaving a legacy that even when you're gone, you're still talked about, because your impact was so profound that you were able to help people beyond the grave. Your work, your life, your art, your music, your paintings. Some of y'all don't see yourself like that. For some reason, you're scared. Maybe it's the people around you. Like, I had somebody literally tell me recently, you're not who you think you are. No, bitch, I'm not who you think I am. And I'm going to remind you every day, a bitch is not for to be doing this po-po shit you want me to do. The fuck? Like, I had to remind myself, like, some people really hate that you treat yourself like royalty because they can't afford to. You feel me? They want you to be po-po with them. They want you to be brokey with them. They want you to be sad with them. They want you to be depressed with them. I'm sorry. You're not going to take me with you. You're not going to take me with you. You know? And that's the thing. Some people don't even know that they doing that shit. But the thing is, they can't fathom to be around someone who's happy when everything is crashing in on them. You know? So you thought you were suffering. You thought you were suffering. You were actually being educated. You thought you were suffering. This whole time, you was being educated. Friend. How many times I gotta tell you? If they're not meant to be, they are going to get removed. And I feel like this eclipse has really showed me that no matter what, my ancestors gonna make sure that I'm around good people. You feel me? Like, a lot of people, when they insecure, they stay wanting to make other people who confident feel insecure too. Like, what's your problem with that? And y'all gotta start catching the red flags. Like, when somebody tell you, oh, you think you this and this and that. I'm sorry. I can't process not thinking like that. Right? Like, what the fuck wrong with people? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with them? You know, let's finish. I'm talking facts, huh, baby? This is my baby Cash. Okay, so the mathematics of selection. In a world of billions, destiny chooses a few for true power. The odds approach impossibility. Yet you recognize these words and feel them burn in your chest like recognition itself. You remember when I told you the 1%? Do you know how hard it is? Like how rare it is to even be the 1%? And some of y'all are the 0.1% of the 1%. You may not feel it right now, but your destiny shows it. And at the end of the day, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that you weren't always that person. Michael Jackson at 5, 4, 6 years old was still Michael fucking Jackson. Right? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Even though he was 5, 6, 7 years old and he hadn't hit the moonwalk, that was still Michael Jackson, right? And now when you look at Michael Jackson at 7 years old, you're just like, wow, greatness, right? So that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Yeah, you may not be seeing it in the physical. You may not see it in the physical. I'm not trying to talk in Ebonics. You may not see it in the physical, but just because you don't see it in the physical doesn't mean that it's not always already written. That's another thing too. Like some of y'all, you judge yourself so much by where you are right now, when where you are right now is not gonna matter. You're probably not even gonna really remember too much of this. You get what I'm saying? So the crown doesn't wait for readiness, because readiness is a luxury kings cannot afford. It doesn't wait for worthiness, because worthiness is proven in the wearing, not wanting. It arrives when you least prepared, because that is when it arrives when you're least prepared, because preparation happens while you're already wearing it. So if you're worried that, oh my God, I'm not ready, I'm not, like, when you start, that's the point. You're never going to be ready. But it's about not being ready and how well you're able to perform without being ready, because then that means everything is coming from your muscle memory of just how talented and great you are and how much you've prepared for just greatness in general in life. Yeah, you wasn't ready to be crowned and go through your coronation today, but your whole life you knew that this was meant for you, so you should have been doing some type of preparation. Do you know what I mean by that? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah, look, you see the chat right there? You see the chat, baby? You see the chat? Yeah. So let's continue. So you will never feel ready. This is by design. The moment you feel fully prepared is the moment you become vulnerable to hungrier, more desperate souls willing to pay prices you thought you had already paid in full. Man. History's greatest leaders share one trait. They try to refuse their calling. You know what? I resonate with this. How many of y'all didn't really want to accept your responsibility at first? How many of y'all really didn't want to accept that you was the best player on the team? You didn't like the fact, oh man, I gotta wake up earlier than everybody because I'm better? That shit don't make no sense, right? It kind of don't, like when you think about it, it kind of don't make no sense. You feel me? It kind of don't make no sense. Like, oh, I'm better than everybody, so I gotta do more work? What? Yeah, man. Life don't make no sense sometimes. You feel me? So your resistance to what you're feeling is not weakness. It's wisdom. You sense instinctively what the crown demands. The death of who you are, or at least who you were, and the burial of who you thought you might become. And now you have to embrace who you must be. Like, you thought you were going to be able to be open-hearted. You thought you were going to be able to be super nice and kind. You know, you thought you was going to be able to be that naive motherfucker. No. You learn, oh my God, I actually have to be colder. I actually have to have more boundaries. I have to be a little bit more stricter. I have to be more real. People are not going to like me as much. And once you start accepting that, that's when you're really on the path of having the crown. And like I said, y'all, if you want to buy my book, just DM me the word ebook. All right? My book is $28. If you want to buy my book, just DM me the word ebook. This book is called The Crown. This book is called The Crown that I just wrote. It's over 100 pages. Let me show y'all what it looks like. Just so y'all can. Over 100 pages. And you know, one part of the book that I really want to talk about is the betrayal of trust. Some of y'all trust too easily. Some of y'all trust way too easily. Way too easily. And the reason why I'm bringing this up to you, because you have to stop thinking about yourself like you just some degular person who works this 9 to 5 and go home and that's it. You're not. You wouldn't be on this live if you were. You wouldn't resonate with it. Energetically, it wouldn't connect to you. You wouldn't seek this out. You wouldn't. Like, I don't care how much in your head you want to disown who you actually are, but you have to still think about it logically. Okay, this is based off of algorithm. And if these people who are powerful are constantly searching and doing research, this is the type of content they're going to find. But the people who aren't powerful are not really going to resonate with this. They're going to get triggered. They're going to want to click off. They're going to feel emotional. So the fact that this resonates with you in of itself is the proof. You're listening to it. You're captivated by it. Why the fuck you think you captivated by it? Like, some of y'all are so used to the facades of the internet that when the real truth comes out, that's when you want to decide that it's false or it's facade or it's not real or it's just TikTok. No, bro. I have to use TikTok because that's where you are. Wherever you are, I'm at. So you can't say, it's the cat hair, bitch. So you can't say, you know what I mean? Damn, this motherfucker cash. You floating everywhere. So, the betrayal of trust. I'm not going to lie. You know, I'm going to read it first. Trust dies the first time someone you believed in completely uses your faith as a weapon against you. Trust dies the first time someone you believed in completely uses your faith as a weapon against you. I'm going to say it one more time. Trust dies the first time someone you believed in completely uses your faith against you. It dies suddenly, violently, completely. One moment you live in a world where people mean what they say, and then the next moment you understand that trust was never wisdom, but it was weakness masquerading as virtue. What that means is some of y'all are being taught to be weak by your own enemies. You got so much cat hair on me, buddy. We gotta brush you. Some of y'all are being taught to be humble. Some of y'all are being taught to be weak. Some of y'all are being taught. Think about school. Did school teach you how to be a boss? Think about school. Did school teach you how to be a boss? Now, if something so institutional like that, who you feel like, man, they put a lot of money in it, I should be able to trust it. You can't even trust that. Why the fuck would you believe what the system wants you to be? The system wants you to be humble. You cannot say I want to be a stand-up citizen, a great citizen, and I want to win at the same. It don't work. Because a stand-up citizen is submissive. They're humble. They're humble. And some of y'all have to really understand what it means to be humble. To be humble means to be submissive. Look at the definition of humble. Before y'all start saying I am and then calling yourself something, you need to really double check what you're calling yourself. Somebody said, what are you filming this with? All my lives are on my YouTube, by the way. Okay. All my lives are on my YouTube. This cat's like, you see Cash? He's like chilling. I needed him today. When I was crying, I just started rubbing on him. And then once he started purring, I just felt better. So I think maybe he's just trying to take all like the little sad frequencies from me for today. I think that's what it is. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rubbing. Like, damn, you doing too much. Bro, I wish my cat would stay in my lap like that. You got to learn how to play the game. You got to learn how to play the game. You can't be just trying to chase after your cat. Cats, you got to let cats come to you when you want them. Put them in your lap. Put some little food. You got to give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't be chasing them. I ain't chasing him. He came to me. He really came to me for real. All right. So let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. Like I said, DM me ebook if you want the ebook for this book that I'm talking about. So the next part of this. Yeah, bruh. This ain't no joke. The next part of this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Listen, this is the best thing to do right now. This is the best thing to get your mind off of what the fuck been happening to you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is what I'm doing. I'm getting my mind off of it. Y'all ready? Y'all want to keep going? Let me know if y'all want to keep going. All right, you comfy? My bad. All right, here we go. Let's go. So, the law of placement. The crown is not earned, it is recognized. Okay, so first law. The first law is the crown chooses its bearer by the bearer's capacity to hold paradox without breaking. So what that means is that your capacity to carry that weight, carry that pain, and not break is what makes you qualified for the crown. And I'm not gonna lie, I was just recently like carrying a lot of weight, and I would have days that was tough, but I wouldn't break. And now the weight just, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's a test to see, can you actually handle? Can you handle? Right? So, what calls to you from eternity was always yours. What others see in you before you see it yourself is not projection, but prophecy. So, what I want you to understand is that just because someone sees it in you doesn't mean that they can tell you. I've noticed this about this. Y'all remember in the Matrix? I wish I could watch the Matrix on stream, bro. Y'all remember the Matrix, bro? The Matrix literally was. Remember when the Oracle and Neo asked the Oracle, "Am I the one?" And she was like, "Well, what do you think?" She knew the answer. What do you think? He was like, "No." Then that's what it is. She looked at his hands. Yep, you're not the one. That's what some of y'all going through. I just literally faced it. Nobody around me wanted to really tell me until I came to it myself. They was like, we was waiting. You know, it's almost like being gay. Like nobody gonna come to you and your family. They're not gonna be like, "Are you gay?" They gonna be like, they know you gay. You know, they just gonna wait for you to come out, and then they're gonna be like, "Girl, we already knew that." You know what I'm saying? You can't wait for other people to acknowledge what you have to acknowledge first. Come on now. I need some. Woo, yes. You feel me? I don't know who. Oh, okay. All right. So let's continue. So the crown settles where it belongs according to laws older than ambition, deeper than desire. So I really feel like the reason why you have the crown is something that's beyond this realm. It's something ancestral. It's something spiritual. It's something Akashic records like. You know what I'm saying? So the second law, what places itself upon you without consent reveals more about your essence than what you consciously choose. You did not seek the weight, yet you carry it. You did not ask for the isolation, yet you endure it. You did not request the responsibility, yet you answer it. This is the first sign the crown has found its home. Third law. The universe places upon each soul exactly what that soul can transform into strength. Again, y'all, if you want to get the ebook, The Crown, DM me ebook, all right? It's only $28. So I like this law. The reason why I like this law is because it doesn't allow you to fall into victim mentality. It constantly reminds you that whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's because you can handle it. It's because you can transmute it. You wouldn't be given no responsibility that you cannot handle. Okay? So no more, no less. The crown measures not your comfort, but your capacity. Some of y'all, you don't think you can handle it because it's just outside of your comfort, but it's not outside of your capacity. Look not to your ambitions to understand your destiny. Look to what burdens have been placed upon your shoulders without you asking. Look what gets placed upon your shoulders without your asking. For example, I feel like I have a responsibility to help the youth. You feel me? And all of that came out of nowhere. You know, but now when I'm away from y'all, I feel like I have a duty to report to y'all. You know what I mean? So the soul demonstrates its fitness through Oh, fourth law. Sorry. Recognition precedes readiness. The crown appears when consciousness is possible, not when it is comfortable. The soul demonstrates its fitness through countless small acts of responsibility before it knows the crown exists. Service before recognition, weight before awareness, burden before blessing or blissful. But and this is honestly like, if you look at the law of life, everything worth creating has to go through this process. Weight before awareness, service before recognition, burden before blessing. Think about it. When you're working out, you have to go through pain before you can look like pleasure, right? Right? You have to go through pain before you can look like pleasure. In order for you to make money, you got to spend before you can earn. Right? When somebody's having a baby, they got to go through 9 months of uncomfort for that baby to be born. The law of gestation. Everything takes time before it is created. So that should let you know that what I'm going through is divine because it's in alignment with the laws of nature. So let's continue. The laws of weight. To exist is to influence. To influence consciously is to reign. So the fifth law, every being carries weight. Only the crowned people carry it consciously. So some people are powerful and don't know it, and some people are powerful and they do know it. And here's the thing, when you are aware of something, it grows in vibration, right? When you become aware of your own energy and you become aware in your meditation, right? I didn't say comment ebook, I said DM ebook, all right? So when you become conscious of your energy, your energetic field grows, right? That's the same example of becoming aware of your power, becoming aware of your essence, becoming aware of your responsibility, becoming aware in general. It grows in awareness. You get what I'm saying? It grows in awareness. So when you know that you're powerful, when you know you're influential, it's like the person who knows that they're attractive. When they know they're attractive, they move that tool around even more. You know what I'm saying? So most people walk through life unconscious of how their presence moves through others like stones through water. They speak without knowing their words plant seeds that will grow for decades. They choose without seeing how their choices become templates for those who watch. When you know that you're powerful, when you know that your words carry weight, you are very mindful of who you are around. You're very mindful. You have higher standards for how you do shit. So this is how I like to see it. If you don't have standards, or if you have low standards, you're a peasant. You're a peasant. You have peasant way of thinking, right? But when you know that you have more power, more access, more things to protect, you have higher standards. You are powerful. You are royalty. Sometimes I'm starting to think a lot of royalty can come from their responsibility. You get what I mean? Like you're responsible for your whole kingdom, and that's why you're king. The responsibility, right? So let's continue. All right. So consciousness of influence creates the crown. The crown creates consciousness of consequence. Weight without consciousness is a burden. So people who carry power but use it foolishly, they get fucked up. They get fucked up. I remember when Fela Kuti said music is spiritual, and those who use music wrong to like possess people, or they die early. That's kind of like what I think about when I read this, right? That if you don't use your power the right way, you're gonna be destructive. You're gonna be destructive. You get me? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to check the TikTok. Make sure I can see y'all. Make sure I can see y'all. You know? So, listen, man. I hope this live was able to provide you with some type of insight. Like, all I know for me is, personally, you have to be willing to let go of what you need to let go to win, to get to where you need to be, to grow. And I just feel like detachment, not attachment, but detachment is very important in order for that to happen. Sorry, I look rough, y'all. I'm just wearing my Brazil shirt. But detachment is so important. If you are overly attached to everything, you're gonna be a slave to it. Because when it's time for you to walk away and you don't, you will be destroyed. You will be destroyed by it. It will eat you up. So y'all have to learn how to let go of the things that are not good for you. You know, them friends that you with, you know they're not good for you. Them, you hang around people who are not focused. They don't want to grow. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you know what you have to do. This live was just confirmation. And DM me if you want my ebook.